back with another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. And coming up in just a bit, we're going to learn more about Vision Treynor. So we went to the president of the board. That is Travis Castle of Castle and Associates of American Family. And Travis has been a big part of Vision Treynor ever since it got started 15 years ago. So that is coming up soon. Also, enjoy the day. I know yesterday was a little bit breezy, but still, when you get into the upper 70s this time of year, well, we're going to take that every day. And then who knows what's coming later on tonight and into tomorrow. Last report I saw was about 4 to 5 inches of snow expecting with the blowing snow. So another gasp of winter here. And then back to some normal springtime weather. I talked before about how I was hoping to get out and go camping. I haven't been able to do that yet. I'm just not that brave to go out and weather that. And plus, I have one of those canvas tents, and it works very well, and it's very waterproof when the weather is bad. However, it needs to be put away dry, and so that's why I only take it out when I know that I'm going to at least have some drying time to be able to get all of the moisture back out of it before I have to pack it up, because I don't have a truck anymore. So there's no place to set it and just let it dry. I have to pack it all up and get it into the trunk of my car. But anyway, that's still coming up. I always get a little bit anxious for spring every year. When I start to get a taste of it, then that's all that I want. And I want to get out and just get my spring and summer started. Got to be patient. We're not there yet, but it's coming very, very soon. Joining us now, Travis Castle with Castle and Associates of American Family. And we wanted to talk to you today, Travis. Well, first, thanks for coming on the show. I should begin right from the beginning, right?
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the platform. I think it's really important to our region.
Well, I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much. And you had actually told me, I'd heard of Vision Treynor Group, but didn't really understand everything that you guys did. And also, I didn't know how far back this went. I mean, this organization's been around for a while.
It has, absolutely. We were founded in 2010, and I often tell the story about how we started. We just had a group of people that got together at the community center because in 2010, if you go rewind back to Treynor at the time, our swimming pool had just closed, which many in small towns do. Our grocery store had just closed. Our Little League fields were pretty dilapidated or non-existent, and just had a group of people that got together and said, let's try to come up with something different and come up with a way that we can maybe drive some improvements and betterment in our community. And out of that spurred the Vision Treynor Group and the concept of it. And so, we've been in place since 2010, a 501c3 nonprofit organization filed since 2010. So we're entering our 15th year.
How's the progress been? I mean, from where you started to where you're at now, and how have things been going?
Well, as I say, I'm fortunate enough to work with the iOS Foundation. I'm on the iOS Racing Association board, and one of the things that Matt Hinka says there often is that transformational projects cannot be measured in months, and sometimes not even in 12 months. And we really believe that what we're doing and have been doing since the onset of the creation of the Vision Treynor Group is to create transformational projects in our community that are done. They're done right. They're done with money in the bank and not with loans. And they're put together to last a lifetime. And so we are working on transformational projects with our community. And so our board does count progress in years and not in months. And so, the progress is coming along real well for what's going to be in place for the next 100 years in our community. And so we're excited about it. And we're really just getting a lot of traction right now. In the last 3 or 4 years, we really gained a lot of traction from some of the great support we've received. And so we're excited about the progress. There's a lot of things going on that are going to be kicking off here and improving just dramatically in the next 5 years from where we've come over the last 15.
Are there any of those projects that you can talk about now that you're working on?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I want to, if I could, Todd, really give credit from the people that got us started. I analogize small community progress by planting seeds. And when we started this organization back in 2010, one of the things that we looked at was what do small towns that are progressive, what do they have in common? And they have in common a couple different things. One of those things is an organization other than the city council. And I love our city council in Treynor. They've been very supportive of what we've done. But you need to have an organization other than a city council that is in place, that is operating, that can overcome the ability to not have to have an election start or stop you from doing things in your community. So that was one of the key things to get us started from that standpoint. The other thing is that you have to have some initial support and some people to plant those seeds initially. And I'm going to continue to give credit to the Treynor State Bank, Mick and Judy Gutaw and the Gutaw family. Their generosity from the beginning was what really allowed us to kick off our projects. We had a vision in 2010, 11, and 12 when we started trying to figure out exactly what direction we were going to go from a development standpoint. And once we decided on a piece of ground that we wanted to turn into a youth sports complex, we went ahead and approached the Gutaw family. They came to us with some community reinvestment money, and they were the initial donation of $550,000, which really allowed us to plant some major seeds in our community, purchase the ground for what is now becoming the Vision Treynor Group's youth sports complex. And so great appreciation to them. We've received a lot of gifts from the iOS Foundation and from the Lakin Foundation, the Charles E. Lakin Foundation. But it really started off with the Gutaw family, Mick and Judy, and what they did to get us started, and everything else has just been improved from there. And so you asked about projects and whatnot. Our initial project and our initial scope was determined by a simple survey we sent out in 2011 that asked the people. We sent a survey out to 1,000 people, and in true Treynor fashion, we received 443 surveys back, right? Which is a pretty good number for a survey return. And people said they wanted to see four things. They wanted to see Little League fields. They wanted to see a trail system. They wanted to see a fitness center, and they wanted to see a swimming pool, which a lot of small towns still want a swimming pool. And so we went ahead and identified 63 acres in town, right on the north edge of town. Went through a big research study as to why we selected that area, and it really was developed. It was selected so that we could have future community development. We didn't want to put it outside of town to where kids had to get a ride from their parents to the family sports complex. We wanted them to be able to get on their bikes. You remember when we were growing up as kids, people would hop on their bikes and they'd ride to the ball field, they'd ride to the swimming pool and things of that nature.
I used to ride mine 7 miles each way to Little League practice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so we didn't want kids having to be dropped off by parents. So we created a complex, and we bought that 63 acres just really in the heart of the north side of town, to where we could build around it and it would have a big impact. So that was the original design, was to get that piece of land. We created a master plan. We did an initial capital campaign, Todd, in 2012 and 13, and we raised $250,000. Very generous people, greatly appreciated, but $250,000 on 63 acres was just enough to do nothing. And I say that tongue in cheek because we had a farm field, we had cornfields and bean fields, and the terrain was very steep, but we knew that it was the right place, but we just didn't have enough money to even grade the middle third of the field. And so we put that money in the bank. We never spent a dime of it. We continued to save and figure out how we can make this happen. In the meantime, in 2014, our community fitness center was going to be leaving town. And so that was one of the 4 things that appeared on our survey. And so we went ahead as the Vision Treynor Group and solidified the old grocery store in town, which was the Pickle Barrel, and we converted that into a community fitness center. That was in 2014. So 11 years later, we have over 200 members in the Treynor Fit, which is our community fitness center. It's owned by the Vision Treynor Group. We lease the space of the old grocery store, and there's over 200 members of Treynor in the surrounding area that utilize that fitness center every day. I'm not sure everybody's there every day, but I know that they've got memberships, and the memberships are driven to a great degree. So we had a little bit of a pause on our complex development while we spent 2.5 years developing the fitness center and getting that up off the ground. And it's operational and fully funded, and it's just really a nice piece, nice gym for the community. So that fast forwards us to about 2017, 2018, and we finally decided that we had to get something off the hump on this youth sports complex. So we went ahead and leveraged our land. We borrowed some money against the land that we owned, and we ended up grading the middle third of that property, about 10 acres. In that middle third, and we went ahead and put a gravel road to a parking lot and we developed one little league soccer field and football field and one little league baseball field. And that was the kickoff of what we had. We applied to the iOS Foundation. Since we had some momentum and some matching funds, the iOS Foundation came through for about $175,000, which was a portion of the $500,000 project that we were taking off. We built out the first Little League field and the first soccer field, so those have been fully operational now for 3 years. And then we then ended up pushing for what was identified as the concession stand, but we really wanted to turn it into a gathering place in our community. So we created a pavilion, which will hold a concession stand, a leased space, a family gathering room, and the Charles E. Lakin Foundation was the grantor of that. And so we have that building. It's about 90% complete. We just have some interior finishes to do. And so the foundation of the facility, we have all the utilities ran, the electric, the water, the sewer, all the foundations of the facility are in place. And now we're just looking at stacking on top of that some great things to come in the future. So that's kind of a history lesson of kind of where we've been and how we've gotten to where we're at now. The field, the land that's still available is designed for 3 more Little League fields and another football/soccer field. If we end up building them out in that way, we might reimagine that land a little bit. But the other thing we were able to do is we were able to partner with other nonprofits that want to bring amenities to our community, and we're partnering with the Treynor Parks and Trails Board, another nonprofit group in Treynor that wants to bring us a splash pad, Tristan's trailhead for a young man that was unfortunately killed in an accident in Treynor jogging on the gravel road. So his mom and his family are building a memorial trailhead there for him. And then we'll also have an opportunity for some space for an all-inclusive park for kids of all abilities to be able to play in as well. So those are coming. A couple of them are coming this summer, and then we'll continue to expand. We have a small community, but with our small community, we've got 50 acres that are designed just to produce and generate community amenities for Southwest Iowa and our region and our community. And so that's pretty exciting from that aspect. We're really excited about those amenities that are coming to town. We're really checking a lot of the things off the box from that initial survey.
I know that going back to my original experience with Treynor, which is mid to late 90s, when I first started going there, and I was broadcasting ball games for KMA at the time, and getting to know everybody that was in Treynor, and they were all very welcoming to me just as soon as I got there. But what really jumped out at me initially, and it stayed this way the entire time, is that Treynor's as a community, the number one focus is young people, always has been. And it sounds like with everything that you've been doing, that focus has remained the same.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Todd. The community is the school is our gemstone of the community. We've got an outstanding academic program. We've got an outstanding athletic program. We've got parents that are really invested in their kids. And we've got a great Optimist organization in town that focuses on kids as well. Our city is very very much a proponent of helping kids as well, and doing a lot of cool things in the community for the youth of our community. And this facility, we've raised over $2 million since 2010, and every penny of that $2 million has gone back into the facility. And so there's not one person on my board that gets paid or has been paid for anything that we're doing up to this point. And it's been a labor of love. It's taken, originally my kids were in 5th, 2nd, and preschool when we started this project. And now none of them have gotten to play on the facility, but maybe my grandkids someday will. But I've got a really good board that is and two retired individuals, Doug Waring, Norm Collins, Scott Relfs is an engineer with Relfs Engineering, and myself. We got 4-person board at this time, and we're all just working really hard for the development of this complex and the beautification and development of Treynor to keep making it a beautiful place to raise a family and work and recreate from that standpoint.
When you go back to the beginning of Vision Treynor, was the bar set this high? I mean, were you thinking this big when you got started?
We had some really progressive people in the group, and so one of the things I liked that we really did was that initial due diligence to figure out where to put the complex and to make it more than just a baseball field or softball field. And so we did have some big vision. We created a master plan for the complex. It's altered and changed a little bit, but overall, it's kind of been what the vision has been. And we just had some really hardworking individuals and some patient people that have developed it as what we call as a gathering place. We envision it as a future gathering place, a city center, if you would, that where people will meet and gather through the three of the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and fall. We really envision it beyond the school being that next gathering place in our community that people come and have people of all ages from that aspect as well. Probably what we didn't envision was some of the things that are going on right now in what they're going to be happening in the future. We have 2 areas that were identified, and we've been identified as a fund advisor for the revitalization of Southwest Iowa, which is an initiative put on by the Lakin family. And so the Lakin family has identified our 501c3 as an organization that can accomplish things and get things off the ground. And so they've bestowed upon us an opportunity to utilize some of their funds to build out housing opportunities in Treynor. And so those are there's 2 things, the next 2 things that are coming. One is the city has put in they're going to put in a road that connects Highway 92 and 300th Street, which provides another connectivity and another main artery in our community, and it'll go right through the heart of our complex. But the other thing that the Lakins have facilitated is, with us being a fund advisor, we are now doing the due diligence of building 2 new subdivisions in Treynor, a 20-home subdivision and an 18-home subdivision. And if we can get the math to work out with support of the city and with the support of the Lakin Foundation, we can get the math to work out. We could be providing 36 additional lots. So there's a 20-lot subdivision and a 16-lot subdivision. Maybe I misspoke there. So we have a possibility of providing 36 new lots for families to move to Southwest Iowa and help revitalize that vision of what the Lakin family has had by utilizing those funds as a loan from them to be able to do some pretty cool things. And so those are some things that are coming up that we're working hard on in the late nights and early mornings before we all go to our real jobs and work those as well. So yeah, that's we're really excited about that.
You've mentioned just Southwest Iowa as a standalone place more than once, and again, going back to the time when I first got to Southwest Iowa, that jumped out at me very quickly is this region. And I would say not just this region of the state, but this region of the Midwest, I think identifies with itself more than any other place that I've ever been. If you're from Southwest Iowa, that means something to the people that live there. And so you talk about creating places for people to live, because we just did a show recently about how little housing there is available in Council Bluffs, and that kind of bleeds over into all the other communities because people are looking for places to live. And that's huge, I think. And with to be thinking like that in order to tie it in with everything else that's going on, that's really forward thinking, I think.
We appreciate that. I've You're exactly right, Todd. The people of Southwest Iowa are a prideful group, and we do pride ourselves on from where we live, and we want to continue to make sure. As I look at it, is somebody did these things for me when I was growing up. I grew up in Mapleton, Iowa. I had great facilities and amenities in my community. Somebody did that, and that's why, when we look at ourselves, and our board looks at who we are and what we're doing, we just take it as it's our turn. It's our turn to do what we can, to try and develop the region in a way that we can, and provide some great opportunities for families to live here, to raise a family here, and work here from that standpoint. And so, yeah, I think you're right. You hit the nail right on the head. There's a lot of really good people and prideful people in this area.
I think also that there's been it's not a true statement, but for some, especially that are coming from the city, they look at smaller communities as kind of inclusive, and they don't want outsiders coming in. But I don't think there can be anything further from the truth.
No.
I think that all of these communities want growth, and I've said it many times on this program and on others as well. If you want to be here, we want you here.
Yeah.
Now, if you just want to come in and take money and leave, well, we're smart and we're going to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so that gets kind of shunned. But when you want to come and be a part of the community, all of these communities that we have all around Pottawatomie County and the rest of Southwest Iowa, I have found to be very welcoming.
Yeah, and I agree, very welcoming as well. And here's what I look at it on a really a regional concept, Todd. I'm blessed to be on, as I mentioned before, that to be able to work with the iOS Foundation. The things they are doing to promote the region, the things that the other organizations, the Community Foundation for Western Iowa, and what Donna and her team are doing there to promote the region. I mentioned the Lakin Foundation and what they're doing to promote the region. The Four Corners Foundation is another organization that is just doing everything they can to promote the region. And what I like looking at it as is that we are all one, and really we are part of the Omaha region as well. How many of us work in Omaha and drive in and out of Omaha and back to our homes every night? And so I think we need to continue to think regionally, and that's what I love about some of the leaders that we have in those organizations that I mentioned, is they're thinking regionally as well. I think that it's our responsibility in Treynor to develop the community so that we can be a part of Southwest Iowa growth. And therefore, we have to have amenities that promote growth. We have to have housing that promotes people to be able to come and live here. Because when people look, they might want to live in Council Bluffs, in a beautiful neighborhood in Council Bluffs. They might want to live in a small town. And if they want to do that, we need to be able to give them choices. And so some of the housing initiatives that Mayor Walsh and his team are doing within the city of Council Bluffs, the things that these small communities are doing, from the Treynor City Council and city administrator and mayor, the things they're doing, the things that our organization are doing, is really an attempt to say, you have options, and come to Southwest Iowa because it's a great place to live and work and raise a family. And if you want to live in the city, there's a metro, 65,000 person metro, or however many, whatever the population is in Council Bluffs. Or if you want to live in a small town and create some of that quaint amenity, small town living, you can find a place in Treynor. You can Underwood, Neola. There's a lot of great opportunities for people, and I just think that, as I mentioned before, it's our turn. It's our turn to develop and push and try to find a ways to make this an attractive place to be.
Well, and also to continue on with the growth. And as you said, it's our turn, because the community in the area that I grew up in is not going to be around much longer, because that didn't exist, and that transition didn't exist. And they just wanted everything to stay quiet. And well, with no growth, eventually your population ages out, and there's just nothing left. And that's what happened where I grew up. But here, the opposite is happening. And you look at all of the communities around Pottawatomie County, they're all doing well. They're all growing. And even after a tornado comes through and takes out, 50% of Minden, they just instantly come together and things are not only being replaced, they're being it's built back better is what we're
Yeah,
seeing there.
yeah.
So that it is so encouraging to me to be able to just I feel like I'm just kind of sitting here and being a witness to it,
Mhm.
and that I feel very lucky for that.
Yeah. Well, I think we all are fortunate. I think Southwest Iowa is a beautiful place to live, and it puts us in position to have an amazing city across the river. It puts us in a position to do things within our own region. We're really fortunate, and sometimes we have to stop and tell ourselves that it is a great place to live. Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Well, he is Travis Castle. We're talking about the Vision Trainer Group, and Travis also has a Castle and Associates of American Family. You got where are you at now? About 50, 55 offices?
No, we have four locations, and I normally don't
Four.
wear a Guinness. I normally don't wear a Guinness T-shirt to work, but it is St. Patrick's Day when we're
Yeah, as we're
recording this,
recording this.
so
Yeah,
we're all green. We're all green today.
I just talked about it. That I looked up some St. Patrick's stuff, and apparently the original color for the St. Patrick's organization was blue.
Okay,
Now that has nothing to do with this shirt,
there you
but
go.
because I don't have anything that color of green.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, I've been with American Family now for 18 years. Opened at my first location in July of 2007 in Bellevue, which is where my headquarters is. In 2013, we opened an office inside the TS Bank in Treynor. 2017, we opened an office in Council Bluffs inside the TS Bank as well. And then in 2019, we finished what I call our footprint of being in your neighborhood in Elkhorn, Nebraska in 2019. And so I'm blessed with 8 team members. We do home and auto, life, business insurance, and farm insurance, and so I bounce from office to office and try to keep my head above water most times. So it's been a labor of love, and I truly enjoy working for American Family Insurance.
Well, and yeah, being in insurance, you don't have a stressful existence at all. No,
No,
it's just
no.
everything is just all nice and calm and
I
static and stays exactly the way it is all the
I
time, and
used to
nothing ever
enjoy a good
changes.
thunderstorm, Todd. I used to enjoy a good thunderstorm, and now I'm like, oh, please don't hail.
I know we've had so many things that have happened across the country, not just here. I mean, we got nailed here last year, but it's happened everywhere,
It,
and so
it,
it's just got to be rough, and that's a whole nother conversation. But
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely. No,
but very grateful for your time, Travis. Thank you, and we
absolutely.
look forward to seeing more and more progress as it comes together.
Well, I appreciate it, Todd. I appreciate your platform and appreciate allowing us to share a little bit about what's going on in Trainer. And as we have updates, I'll let you know, and we'll keep promoting it and let people know.
It really is good to see and good to hear about all of the progress and the forward thinking that everyone is doing around Southwest Iowa, and especially here in Pottawatomie County. I know that all of the communities, I know somebody, I think, in every single community in Pottawatomie County, and everyone pretty much has the same type of vision that they want to see not just to survive, but to thrive. That's the goal. And that is what's happening. And I'm very, very encouraged by that. And that's what this show is all about. We want to highlight those stories, just like Travis's story in Trainer. So if you know of a story in another community, maybe in one that you call home and you would like to hear about it on this program, send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com. If it's your story, then we can get it set up. And if it's someone else's, I'll reach out to them and see if we can't get an interview scheduled and get another appearance on the show. All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And we'll see what happens with the weather on tonight. And we're going to cross our fingers. Maybe it'll miss us. Maybe. Yeah, that's me knocking on wood. Have a great Tuesday.